What's up, Internet Land? Zekimus Prime, aka Zekimus Prime, here with the Transformers Third Party Legends review. And today I'm reviewing the Zeta Toys Mini Downthrust. And yeah, so as I've mentioned, as I as I will have mentioned in my other reviews, suspicious side eye. I used to have the regular Zeta Toys figures years ago, and yeah, I sold them. I sold that set so I can get this set. Why? Because I freaking love tiny figures. And I freaking love, like, I always figure, anyone can make something bigger, but to make a mechanical device smaller and still function the same way, that's what takes actual skill. And so when they first announced this a year or so ago, I don't remember what it was. They showed off basically a completed combiner at one of their shows that they were at. And I was like, damn. And pretty much right away I started thinking about selling off my my completed Zeta Toys Superion set. So here it is sometime later, and yeah, I have these, and they are fantastic. I like them a whole lot. Basically, more or less the same sculpt and the same engineering and the same design that we got out of the larger ones, but they are about half the size. They've got quite a number of new features and additions to them, not the least of which being die cast in the chest and the shins. But, like, by and large, it's the exact same figure. Like, if you're familiar with the old ones, then you're familiar with this one already. Just pulling it straight out of the box, you already know what to expect, what it looks like everything like that. In terms of accessories, he comes with two of these guns. They are just molded simply. I think it's even molded just all in one piece, which is a bit of a feat since it's kind of thick plastic for being molded all in one piece, but I don't see any obvious deformation from shrink. But anyhow, he's got two of them. They are exactly identical. Throw a little bit of light on that so you can get a good look at them. And yeah, they fit in his hand snugly, to the point where I know that I'm going to have a little bit of a issue getting them out here in a second when I take his weapons out for posability. But yeah, they are good looking figures. Good looking weapons. I like this a lot. I think they look really good. It's not the same sculpt. These weapons, they're not the same sculpt as the ones that came with the larger figures. Plus, the larger figure only came with one, and the larger figure came with missiles. But like, they still look fine. So you can have all your figures armed up. Let me get this out. Like I said, yeah, very snugly. Oof, very snugly. Drinking game. How many times do I say snugly? Every time I say it, take a drink. There we go, that's one. Meanwhile, somebody's watching this video and be like, how dare you tell me when to drink? There's the other one. And for transformation, his head is on a ball joint that will look all the way up. A little bit of wiggle waggle, not really any down motion, rotates just fine. His head is ever so slightly off center, eccentric of the axis of his neck, so it's not enough that it really looks weird, but it's enough that I noticed it. So his shoulders will go all the way around, go out for the full tree pose. He's got a bicep swivel. His elbow bends at just less than 90 degrees, but it's really not much less than 90 degrees. The proportion shift between his upper arm and lower arm is fairly extreme. But yeah, he's just got really lanky forearms, I guess. No swivel on the hand here, but you can move it in and out due to transformation a little bit. He's got a waist joint that is kind of hindered by this part here, but this will just move out of the way. I do like how this looks like a little tiny airplane sitting on his back. But this will move out of the way, so basically he's got an unhindered waist joint. He's got little skirt armors here. That'll move forward. Allow his leg to move forward that much, backwards that much if you kick all that shit out of the way. Go out for the full Thor pose. Mushroom peg here that attaches his thigh swivel on. 90 degrees of bend, just about. We'll give it to them at the knee. Just a little ball joint on his toe foot here. This really functions as his heel spur, so this is mostly aesthetic looking and not as functional. Some people were, I was reading somebody complaining about how loose and floppy these figures are. I don't see it. Now, I think what they might have been referring to is if you don't have these arms clicked into place, when you pull them out, they will clip into place. And that can be kind of a little bit of a tricky thing to do. And if they are not clipped into place, they will kind of move in and out freely. Whereas once you clip them into place, they stay pretty well. So maybe that's what they had. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, all in all, posability is pretty good. It just looks really well done. There's no ratchet joints in it, so like the ratchets don't get in the way of like things have to be clicked in a certain way or whatnot. So I don't know. I think it looks fine. To get him transformed up, first thing we want to do is take his head and rotate it around and fold it back in. Close that. It clips shut. Come on. Come on. There we go. Bring his arms out for the full tree pose. Fold in his hand. Fold in his arm. And then fold this down at this inner shoulder joint here. There's panels on the side here. These panels will fold in automatically, which I think is kind of a fun little touch. There was something similar to that with the full-size one that had panels, but I don't remember them folding in. I don't remember them folding out automatically. Like you pulled them out and then you put them into the position. These ones come in and out fully on their own without any, well, I suppose if you pull that out, without any real fuss. So that's kind of cool. With his legs together, what we're going to do is disconnect the front and the back halves of this thing. Now, you can shove this through, and I think that's technically the way it's supposed to be done. Because of the way this, so they clearly had an issue with this. Well, I guess I can't really say clearly, but like it fits through this way. I kind of get the impression that it was meant to fit through the other way, but like you can just, this part comes off fairly easily with no damage to the figure, so you can take that off if you want to, or you can just push it through the way it was intended for slightly more effort. And then this will come around like so, and this will slip into that position using those same tabs, and then you can take these halves here and just tab them together like so. And then this part here is a little bit weird because you basically have to bring this up. You're going to basically, like, this panel here is on a double joint, so you're going to combine or where's this up. And then you want to compress this thigh in. And the reason that this is kind of weird is because before you put all this together, you've got to like kind of like run this through this hollow section here. And so basically what you're going to be doing is leaving these panels open. Actually, let's put these feet away real quick by rotating them around on that ball joint and then folding them straight up. Rotate around, fold straight up. So you're going to be basically putting this in, but like leaving all those panels open so that this tail assembly has got a place to go. And then that will peg in like so. You can take the wings and kind of fold them around, bring the wingtip out, and they will just kind of fold into position with this little slot here. And then this part here swings around. And that basically is it. So now you have Downthrust in his jet mode, and it is, I mean, from this side, certainly it's a pretty handsome looking F-16. From the other side, it is a box. But, you know, that's how the original was. That's how this one is. That's how the G1 was. So I just noticed that I have the tiniest bit of mold defect right there where that part tabs in. It doesn't seem to be affecting how anything fits together, though I will say that I'm not quite tabbed in. Odd. But yeah, gray plastic, black plastic, yellow paint apps here. You've got an opening cockpit here. Landing gear is molded in, so he will sit here. No wheels, of course, so it just kind of will slide. But yeah, not a whole lot else to it. You can take his guns and you can peg them in on the undersides of the wing on these little hard points right here. If you need him to have, you know, ray gun blasters or whatever you want to call these. But yeah, it's a good looking figure. If you are a fan of the original Zeta Toys Combiner, as I am, and if you like Legends scale figures, as I do, then perhaps this will have a place in your collection. But that's pretty much all I got to say about these. Everybody, thanks for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.